All right, we're live. Welcome back to the channel, Texas Dad. This is my son Matt, and we wanted to bring you an article. Just want to review this article real quick. First off, just as an announcement, a little bit of housekeeping, we have set up a meetup. So we're having a meetup next Saturday, October 15th, and that's going to be at Bob Wells Nursery at Sorella Farms, and that is in Mineola, Texas. And we will be there for the larger part of the day. Probably be there by 10. Bob Wells is having their fall festival, so there's going to be lots of really cool stuff going on there. We're going to be promoting this across our platforms. We'll mention it a couple more times in some videos. We're really excited. The owners of Bob Wells are just awesome people. They're good friends of ours. We really appreciate them. And they have great, fantastic products. They sell awesome fruit trees, high quality products. And they have a beautiful facility. And we're looking forward to hanging out at Bob Wells Nursery at Sorella Farms in Mineola, Texas on October 15th. Like I said, we'll get there at 10. We'll probably hang out till about 4. So look forward to that. So let's get into the article today. This is an article posted on the 20th of September by gmwatch.org. And when we're done, we get off today, we will post the link to the video in the show notes. Rats fed GM yeast derived protein soy leghemoglobin. Yummy. The burger's key ingredient developed signs of toxicity. This is a report by Claire Robinson and Dr. Michael Antonow. The Impossible Burger globin, SLH for short. Well, thanks for shortening that for us. For us Luddites.
Man.
Because leghemoglobin, that just sounds yummy. I want to ingest some leghemoglobin. So that's SLH for short, derived from genetically modified yeast. Okay, so the package says that it's made from plants.
Yeah, so made from plants.
But this is a genetically modified yeast. The last time I checked, and I went to government school, y'all, yeast is not a plant. So the main ingredient is toxic. Cool. Okay.
Awesome.
It's already being sold in restaurants and supermarkets in the U.S. There's a shocker. I didn't expect that. I mean, the FDA just wants to protect us, and the FDA
keep us safe,
and the USDA just wants to keep us safe, and they're so concerned about our health, and they want to regulate just to keep the kids safe. You know,
it's for the kids.
It's for the kids, and it's for the humans, and they just want to be safe. All right. In 2019, the manufacturing company Impossible Food. Does anybody see the irony in the name Impossible Burger and Impossible Food? One, it's not a burger. Two, it's impossible for human consumption because it'll kill human beings.
It's very true.
And then the mother company is called Impossible Food, and in reality, it is Impossible Food because it's toxic trash. There's just enormous amounts of irony here. Impossible Foods applied for permission to market the burger in the EU and the UK. I really appreciate our fellow human beings over the pond there because they actually have enough common sense to like block a lot of this trash. And they're like, you can't send that junk into our country. And for some reason, we're as Americans, we're like, oh, num, num, num. Whoa. What? Leghemoglobin, yummy. Might I have more? Might I have more porridge?
So true. So true. That's a lot. I hear that all the time. Like, oh, well, that's illegal over here. Our country doesn't allow that type of food or this type of food. But, oh, America, oh, they allow all of that junk, all the time.
However, the results of a rat feeding study commissioned by Impossible Foods and carried out with...
We're the rats too, by the
way. We're the CO2. Well, we're the rats.
That's a new t-shirt.
You're right here, y'all. just if you need a map, you're right here.
Yep.
Okay. However, The results of the rat feeding study commissioned by Impossible Foods and carried out by, I'm sorry, I already read that. SLH is the substance that, this sounds delicious. Wait, y'all. Now, I know I'm doing some
I'm already drooling.
I'm doing some
here.
hot marketing here for Impossible
Yeah.
Foods, but wait till you hear this.
We're getting paid the big bucks over here.
SLH is the substance that gives the burger its meaty taste and makes it appear to bleed like meat when cut. Yummy. I have a great meat alternative. It's called meat.
No way.
Why you got to jack with it, y'all? All right. Other than trying to kill us and all that stuff.
How many ingredients are in meat?
One.
No. Wow.
Yeah, and there's no like hemoglobin that comes from a genetically modified yeast. And why does it have to come from a genetically modified yeast? All right. Okay.
Just in case it wasn't toxic enough.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration initially refused to sign off on the safety of SLH when it was first approached by the company. The rat feeding study results suggest that the agency's concerns were justified. Rats fed the GM yeast-derived SLH developed unexplained changes in weight gain, changes in the blood that can indicate the onset of inflammation or kidney disease.
That sounds awesome. I want that.
And possible signs of anemia. Oh, great, a blood disorder. 2015, FDA says SLH safety not proven. The company maintains that SLH is safe to eat. It wanted the FDA to agree with its self-declared conclusion that SLH is GRAS, generally recognized as safe, providing reassurance for consumers. But in 2015, in response to Impossible Foods' first application, the FDA refused to agree that the substance was safe. They responded with tough questions for the company, as revealed in documents obtained under the Freedom of Information request. They've cited their sources down below. I will link the article. The FDA was concerned that SLH has never been consumed by humans and may be an allergen. The agency pointed out that the safety information submitted by Impossible Foods was not specific enough. Although proteins are part of the human food supply, not all proteins are safe. Information addressing the safe use of modified soy proteins does not adequately address safe use of soybean like hemoglobin protein from the roots of the soybean plant in food. It almost sounds like they're trying to develop poisonous foods. The FDA concluded, FDA believes that the arguments presented individually and collectively do not establish the safety of SLH for consumption, nor do they point to a general recognition of safety. So that was 2015. Now we have 2017. Impossible Food tries again. In 17, Impossible Food tried again with a new application for GRAS status. It submitted data for the study that the company had commissioned in which rats were fed SLH. Although Impossible Foods had, in its 2015 submission, told the FDA it intended to conduct a 90-day feeding study, the standard length for subchronic toxicity in rats, the company said that following feedback from the agency, it decided on a shorter study of 28 days. Wow, there's nothing nefarious about that. Well, it might be toxic if we feed these rats for 90 days. So let's just shorten the study, and so we get the results we want so that we can say that it's safe.
They didn't all fall dead, you know.
While this change would cut costs for Impossible Foods, it is not in the public health interest. That's because the shorter the duration of the study, the less likely it is to find health effects such as organ damage, which takes time to show up. The number of animals and duration of the feeding study are two key design elements in an investigation of the safety of a genetically modified food substance. It was always unlikely that SLH would have a strong and obvious toxic effect in the short term. Any adverse think McDonald's hamburger, y'all. Think Big Mac. It's very unlikely that a short-term exposure to a McDonald's Big Mac will have negative impacts on your health. But eat them for 90 days and see what happens.
Yeah, well, that one guy did, right?
Super Size Me.
Super Size Me. 2. Yeah, he ate McDonald's for, what was it? It was a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time.
It was like a year or something.
Yeah, and it was cataclysmic.
Yeah, poor guy.
And I mean, you don't even have to look at that study. Just on your way when you're driving to work, just look around. And
I mean, it was nuts. I went into town, and it must have been 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'd never been in town at that time of the day, and then passed by the McDonald's. Every parking space in the McDonald's was full. And I mean, we're talking about a real small town, real small city. And then the line was totally backed up, and one more car pulled in, and it was all the way out to the street.
Yeah.
It was nuts. I'm like, for McDonald's, really? And I've turned down several times. People will be like, oh, we're having McDonald's. I'm like, I'm not having it. I'll starve. And I mean, I've been working for half the day or so, and they're like, that's what we're having for lunch. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I can't eat it. It's nasty.
Yummy.
I don't care if it tastes good.
Well, exactly.
I don't care about that.
MSG tastes good.
Yeah, exactly. But
there's lots of stuff that tastes good. I mean, rat poison tastes good to rats when they eat it, right?
Exactly.
All right.
So go on.
It's always unlikely that SLH would have strong and obvious. Okay, I'm sorry, I read that. Given these requirements, it seems clear that Impossible Food study was statistically weak. There were too few animals in each test group, 10 per sex per group. And again, the study was too short in duration. 28 days in a rat is equivalent to just 2 to 3 years in a human. To clarify any health concerns from long-term consumption of this product. Potentially adverse effects in SLH-fed rats. In light of these limitations, it is remarkable that the SLH-fed rats did show a large number of statistically significant, potentially adverse effects compared with the control group. For example, unexplained transient decrease in body weight gain, increase in food consumption without weight gain, changes in blood chemistry, decreased reticule. Oh, dag, y'all. Okay, reticulocyte. Yeah. Immature red blood cell count. This can be a sign of anemia and or damage to the bone marrow where the red blood cells are produced. Decreased blood clotting ability. Decreased blood levels of alkaline phosphates can indicate malnutrition or celiac disease. Increased blood
this list is way too long.
Can indicate acute infection or damage to tissue. And potassium values can indicate kidney disease. Yeah, like increased potassium in your blood or urine. Increased blood glucose, low blood sugar, and chloride can indicate kidney problems. Increased blood globulin values common in inflammatory disease and cancer.
Oh, there you go.
The fact that these changes were seen in spite of the statistical weakness of the study stemming from the short duration and the low number of animals in each group given particular reason for concern. Reproductive changes in SLH-fed females. So they are trying to neuter us. Okay. In the study, apparent disruptions in the reproductive cycle were found in some groups of females fed SLH. In normal healthy rats, the uterus fills up with fluid during the prostrus phase of the cycle, and in the run-up to the fertile and sexually receptive phase, estrus. I'm sorry, I'm not a biology major, y'all. In the SLH-fed rats, significantly fewer fluid-filled, wow, easy for you to say, uteri were seen. This correlated with decreased uterus weight as might be expected. In response to this finding, Impossible Foods commissioned a second rat feeding study, which found no effect on the SLH on the rat's estrus cycle. The company concluded that the findings of the first study had been mere artifact of the experimental method used. For the sake of women who may eat the Impossible Burger on a regular basis, we hope that the company is correct.
We hope.
All effects dismissed. Impossible Food dismissed all these effects as non-adverse, as having no toxicological relevance, as transient, on the grounds that they appeared to reverse themselves after some days, and as not dependent on the dose. The effect did not increase with the increased dose. It is true that the adverse outcomes may appear somewhat haphazard. However, the fact that there were so many statistically significant changes in multiple organs and systems suggests that closer scrutiny of the safety of SLH is urgently required. The apparent randomness of the effects may be due to the fact that the study design was statistically weak, and it is well known that toxic effects do not always follow a linear dose response pattern. Dismissing the findings as irrelevant appears irresponsible. The only way of ascertaining if potentially adverse effects seen in short studies are truly adverse or having lasting consequences is to extend the study's length to the rats' full lifetimes, 2 to 3 years, and to do multi-generational testing. In this case, neither was done. FDA capitulates. Impossible Foods' second attempt to obtain the GRAS status for SLH succeeded, and the FDA, the warm and fuzzies, they just love us. The Food and Drug Administration, they care about the humans. Thank you, Food and Drug Administration, for regulating and strictly enforcing. They're going after Amos Miller, right? They're going after Amos Miller, and this stuff is cool. This stuff works. This stuff, the problem is Amos Miller doesn't have enough money to pay them off. And Amos Miller and everything he's doing is antithetical to everything the FDA is about. The FDA issued a no questions letter indicating that it had no further questions. Contrary to what many people believe, such letters are not an assertion by the FDA that the food in question is safe. They state that the company asserts that the food is safe and remind the company that it, and not the FDA, is responsible for ensuring that it only puts safe foods on the market. Talk about some sophistry, and talk about a worthless organization that sucks up billions of federal dollars. No questions letters may protect the FDA from liability in case something goes wrong, but they do not protect the consumer from unsafe, novel foods. So there you go. There's your FDA. There is their due diligence and all they just want to keep the kids safe and all that stuff. Another GMO ingredient. In 2019, Impossible Foods introduced a new recipe.
Yummy.
Their Slurpee soup wasn't selling good.
Wasn't bloody.
Wasn't
enough.
Killing people fast enough.
Yeah, exactly.
They introduced a new recipe for its Impossible Burger. In addition to the GM-derived SLH, the burger now contains another GMO ingredient. Protein from herbicide-tolerant soy. The company introduced soy protein to replace wheat protein in order to improve the texture and to avoid gluten. Yeah, because gluten's bad for you. So we're going to replace our gluten content with a glyphosate impregnated soy.
Light years better than that junk. Promise you that.
As a result, Impossible Burger version 2.0 can contain residues of the probable carcinogen glyphosate. And with the recent settlements that there's been surrounding glyphosate, I think that is being very kind and generous to call it a probable carcinogen versus a known carcinogen. The main ingredient in the herbicide used on GMO soy. Testing by Health Research Institute laboratories commissioned by the advocacy group Moms Across America. We just talked about some of this. The Moms Across America was the ones that did the testing on the government school gruel, the gruel slop that the government propaganda camps feed the children that they love and care about and nurture, and they just want it to the kids to get the right propaganda and eat the right kind of food. But we can't provide healthy food for our kids because it's expensive, and we can't provide like non-propagandized learning to the children because then they wouldn't work for the man and the machine. So moms across America found glyphosate at a level of 11.3 parts per billion. The level was 11 times higher than the Beyond Meat burger, another plant-based burger that's made from non-GMO ingredients. Well, there you go. Go get a Beyond Meat burger. Oh, grossing me out, man.
Super nasty.
However, Beyond Meat's crashing stock suggests that the
Good.
hype over any fake meat product is misplaced. Yeah, they're slopping this trash out here, and it's all government subsidized, and nobody wants this synthetic garbage trash.
Yeah, it's gross. I yet have seen somebody walk out of any of the major supermarkets, at least down here, with it, or I haven't seen anybody while I've been over at the meat aisles and stuff, like picking it out. And that is the last thing that is like deplenished.
Yeah, and what I exclusively see is when you go to those sections, I always like to just check it out of curiosity. They're stocked to the gills.
Yeah,
it's
just
always
like piled over. Yeah.
And it almost is like people are scared to even touch it.
Yeah, for real.
Knowing the concerns that the use of GMO soy protein and glyphosate residues may rise, Impossible Foods CEO Pat Brown has gone to some lengths to reassure the buying public. But based on what the rat feeding studies tell us about the potential health effects of the Impossible Burger, the company would be well advised to shelve SLH and reformulate their product with natural and, if possible, organic and minimally processed ingredients. And that's what I find that's what I find is very fascinating is why not just use good, you're trying to sell this thing as healthy. Why don't you actually use healthy ingredients? There's lots of vegetarians and vegans, and they claim that all this stuff is just like a hamburger. Well, hire a couple of those people to develop something that actually isn't designed.
They don't want to do that because that wouldn't kill anybody.
Right. And it won't make you grow 3 heads.
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
that stuff. It's just, it's by design.
Yeah.
And it's the usual suspects. And it's Bill Gates and all the, while he's drinking Reese's poopy water and like pretending to eat like a hemoglobin sandwich here from, genetically modified glyphosate soy. It's just, but we'll post this article down below. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, share this information with your friends. We hope that none of you have friends that would even consider eating an Impossible Burger. Yeah. But just in case you do, I don't know of anybody that wants to eat that. But,
nope. Yeah, not at all.
But subscribe to our channel.
Yes, please.
Subscribe to our Rumble. Subscribe to our backup channel. And do you have anything in closing?
Go ahead and tell them about the meetup too.
Yeah, I mentioned the meetup at the beginning.
Yep.
Since we're live, I'll just announce it again. We are planning on having a meetup at Bob Wells Nursery at Sorella Farms in Mineola, Texas. That's going to be October 15th. We'll probably get there around 10 o'clock, maybe like a 10 to 4 kind of deal. Yeah. So we always love meeting y'all and getting to talk to you. And so we're going to be there. We're looking forward to that. We'll put the link down below when we're off too, as well to Bob Wells. So you'll have that address and their contact information. And if you're looking for some fruit trees, Bob Wells is a great provider of very high quality fruit trees. So check them up, check them out. Tell them the Texas Boy sent you.
Yeah. And just subscribe to our secondary channel. That should already be linked in the description down below. We're just trying to get a couple of y'all over there. If we can get up to 1,000 subscribers over there, then we can start doing this type of stuff over there as well. If we do get kicked off of here, we can just switch over to there too. Yeah. So anyway, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. I know it was just kind of like random, just threw it up here. So thank you. Just a big thank you to everybody that hopped on here, and we will see y'all later.
All right. See y'all.
All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye. If the mouse will work, we will leave. Here we go.
It's right there.
It's right there, but the mouse won't move.
We're technology experts, y'all.
Let's see. All right. See y'all later.